Okay, today I'm going to talk to you about specialised cells. Now, all that specialised cells are cells which have particular special jobs within animals or plants. So there's 6 that we're going to look at right now, but that doesn't mean there's only 6 specialised cells. There's just 6 that we're looking at in this video. The first one is a type of plant cell called a palisade cell. Now, a palisade cell, its main job is for photosynthesis. So remember, that is how a plant makes its own food in the form of glucose. So in order for that to happen, the most important thing about a palisade cell is that it contains these little organelles called chloroplasts. So in a palisade cell, we'll see lots and lots of chloroplasts because they're found in the leaf, and this is the site of photosynthesis where the plant will make its food. Okay, specialised cell number 2 is a root hair cell. Now, there's a clue in the name of where we find this. It's found in the root of a plant. Now, this one is a bit different from our palisade cell. Because it's in the root, it has a different job. Its job is to absorb water and minerals. So that's its particular job. Now, if we have a quick look at the structure of the root hair cell, we'll see it's a bit different because it does not contain any chloroplasts. This is because the roots are underneath the ground, so there's going to be no sunlight, therefore no photosynthesis. Now, the reason why we have this protrusion from the end right here is to give it a large surface area. So these are the 2 plant cells we're looking at. This has got a large surface area to absorb as much water and minerals as possible. Okay, next up we have our ciliated cell. Now, this is a type of animal cell. For example, it's found in humans. So our ciliated cell has got loads of these little hairs which are called cilia. That's why this is called a ciliated cell. Now, what happens is these little hairs, they can move and act kind of like little brushes. So we can find them in a couple of different places. If they're found in the trachea, so that's like the windpipe, or airways throughout the human body, they remove dust and bacteria. So these little cilia, they move in order to clear the airways. We can also actually find them in the oviduct to move egg cells along. So that's an example of an animal cell. Notice how it doesn't have a cell wall. This is a specialised cell because it has a special particular job. Next up, we have red blood cells. So red blood cells are another type of animal cell. Now, they have this shape, which is called a biconcave disc shape. Now, actually, red blood cells are kind of strange because they have no nucleus. The reason why they have this biconcave disc shape and no nucleus is to give it a large surface area. Because the whole job of a red blood cell is to carry oxygen around the body. So if we've got a large surface area, it just means it can carry more oxygen around the body. The oxygen binds to this particular thing within the red blood cell called hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is just something within the red blood cell that the oxygen combines to. Again, it's a specialised cell because it has a special particular job of carrying oxygen. Okay, the next 2 we're going to look at are types of cells called gametes. That just means sex cells. So these are the two types of cell involved in fertilisation. So first of all, we have this one here, which is a sperm cell. Okay, sperm cell. Now, we have a few different features. The most striking and obvious feature is the fact that it has a tail. This allows the sperm cell to move. It also has this middle section that is packed with these organelles called mitochondria. These mitochondria provide the sperm cell with lots of energy so it can swim. It also has something called an acrosome. Now, what an acrosome is it's a little kind of compartment in the head of the sperm that releases enzymes that allows it to break through the membrane of the egg cell that we'll be looking at in a minute. So the whole job of this one is fertilization. The final thing to say about it is it has a nucleus, but the nucleus is said to be haploid. That just means it has half the number of chromosomes compared with a normal animal cell. That's just so when it combines with the egg cell, we get the full diploid number. So guess what? The last one we're looking at, it's another gamete. The other gamete, it's called an egg cell. So sperm cell are produced in the testes by men. Egg cells are produced in the ovaries by women. So what we have is the egg cell looks like this. Now the egg cell is specially adapted because in the cytoplasm there are lots of nutrients. Because these, as the embryo starts to develop upon fertilization, nutrients provide the embryo with what it needs in order to grow and develop. Now also we have a nucleus, and just like the sperm cell, it is haploid as well, so half the number of chromosomes. Because when the sperm cell and the egg cell combined, that's called fertilization. We have the DNA joining, the chromosomes joining. They go from the half amount of chromosomes to the full amount, so haploid to diploid. So again, our egg cell is involved in fertilization. Just one final thing, these aren't drawn to scale. In reality, sperm cells are much, much smaller than egg cells. So here's where they release their enzymes from the acrosome in order to get into the egg cell, in order for their nuclei to combine. That's fertilization. As soon as the sperm has got in, the membrane of the egg cell, this is another way it's specialized, the membrane of the egg cell changes so no other sperm can get in. So just to recap, these are specialized cells. Specialized cell just means a cell with a particular job, a specialized job. These two are the two of the types of plant cell we need to know about. These are two types of animal cell. These are also animal cells, but they're gametes, which means sex cell. And these are the different features that allow them to do their jobs. Thank you.